I got invited to my first fishing tournament ever. In fact, it was really one of my first times to even go fishing on a boat, and this tournament was a women's fishing tournament. I was really excited about it. It takes place here in St. Petersburg, Florida, at the Maximo Marina. And let me tell you, I had no idea what I was in for.
Oh, good?
Yes, no!
But let's take this from the start. I get a call from these guys telling me to be at their dock behind their house at 5 o'clock. And let me tell you, they were not talking about being there at 5 p.m. Thing is, I live an hour away from there, so I had to be up at like 3:45 a.m. But I rose to the challenge, got myself together, made some coffee, hopped in my car, camera gear ready, and made the drive out there. I learned a couple of things. While driving there, I realized that there are no Starbucks that are open at 3:45 a.m., so gas station coffee it was for me. I also found myself wondering, can they win? So this is the boat that we are using for the tournament. It is a 2023 Contender 44 ST, and it is a superhero worthy boat. I mean, totally ridiculous. I was just in awe of the power and the sophistication of this thing, the way, how poised it was over waves. It was so awesome to be aboard this thing. If you want to check out more about this boat and get a full 20+ minute tour and see all the gadgets, goodies, and gizmos that make this boat up, then check the description below or the link card above and hop over there and see this boat in action. Now, allow me to introduce the ladies who are fishing this tournament. There is Ciro, Sid, and Michelle Boyle herself. Ciro is a total boss. She keeps the day-to-day operations at the Boylan Point Contender Dealer Center running like a well-oiled machine. And then there's Sydney. She completely blows my mind. She is super smart, she loves math, and she also does things like, jump over the side of boats and spear nearly 100-pound yellowfin tunas herself. Also, do not be on the receiving end of her spike when she's playing volleyball. And then there's Michelle Boyle, a Boylan Point Contender. And I learned really quickly that this woman is a serious fisher. She just seems to have this innate ability, this innate sense of what's happening down beneath her while she's fishing. And it's so cool to watch her just time and time again pull up these big fish and just crush it. Let me go ahead and do a quick round of introductions for the guys who are crewing the boat here for the tournament. First up, there is Stephen Boyle, Michelle Boyle's husband, and this guy is probably one of the coolest dudes under pressure that I've ever seen. You have Bohemian-born and raised Connor, who works at the service center and is a jack of all trades. And then lastly, there is Max, who is Sydney's brother. He's a young pilot and really knows his stuff out on the water. And speaking of knowing things out on the water, I don't. So of all the things I could have brought whenever I got my gas station coffee, I bought and brought with me bananas. Turns out, a couple hundred years ago, whenever ships would sink, the only thing that was left floating around the wreckage was bananas, and so naturally, people just thought bananas are bad on the water because bananas sink boats. But seriously, folks, there's no reason to do this. Respect the maritime traditions and don't bring bananas on boats. So after freaking everyone aboard the boat out when they saw me pull out my bananas, I ended up tossing them to Neptune as a sacrifice for my ignorance. So as we push off into the darkness of the pre-dawn early morning, I didn't know what was in store for me. Navigating out of the channel, Stephen asks if everyone is ready. I didn't know that meant that we would be blasting maybe 100 miles straight out, full tilt. With the boat pointed into the void of the Gulf, the 44 punch through rollers that you never got to see, but you would only feel as you went weightless from time to time. And I have to admit, this would be terrifying if it weren't for one small detail: night vision. Michelle will tell us more about this later, but seeing it in action was extremely impressive and also comforting. Speaking of Michelle, let's get an update she gave later on in the day about the rules for the fishing tournament.
All right, so we're here fishing the Suncoast Ladies Classic tournament, which is a very cool tournament because it's a bottom fish tournament, and then there's also a pelagic category. So two of our favorite things to do here in the Gulf of Mexico. The bottom fish categories are gag grouper, mangrove snapper, and scamp. So we're going to be looking to weigh in one of each of those, or one of those, and they're going to do top three, heaviest of each of those. And then the pelagic category is blackfin tuna, kingfish, mahi, and wahoo. So top three weights of those as well. And then there's a Gulf Master Award for the aggregate combination of heaviest bottom and heaviest pelagic fish as well, which is really cool. So ladies tournaments are really neat. You're allowed to have a male captain, you're allowed to have male mates, they are allowed to catch the bait. But once we're fishing, the women are the only ones allowed to touch the rod. Once you drop a rod down, it is yours to catch that fish start to finish. So no one else can touch the rod at that point. And that's kind of how all of them usually tend to work. And it just makes it really, really fun because you've got great captains, great mates, and then you've got the women using all the muscle and getting the fish in the boat.
So we reached our first fishing location here, and it was really interesting. It's like, I don't know, it's like an orchestra. All these guys just hop off the stadium seats and start going around the boat. I mean, each one like putting their stuff together, setting everything up. No one had to say anything to each other. They just knew what each of them needed. It was pretty cool to watch it all go down, especially with the sunrise coming up now. It was really pretty. However, this was not a spot where things were popping off, so we quickly left here to go to the next super secret Boiling Point fishing spot. So it's at this fishing spot that the first catch of the day is made, but it is unfortunately a fish that is out of season, as it is a red grouper.
All right, so yeah, I'll just tell you a little bit about the prep for this tournament. So yesterday, Connor and I went and got bait, dead bait, live bait, ice, fueled up the boat, got all the food, all the drinks, everything in here. We rigged all of our rods for two different types of fishing, because this tournament, the girls are allowed to fish bottom fishing and trolling, which is what we're doing right now. So we're out here in like 170 feet, a little bit to the south of St. Petersburg. And the water is, it's not quite as blue. Really, you want it to be like that deep, like almost purpley blue. It's the best conditions to catch fish, but it's blue enough, and there's a ton of flying fish everywhere and just looks real lively. So we put them out. There's some flying fish right there. And hopefully we can pull over a wahoo and let one of these girls catch them.
So yet again, we headed off to another spot. And here is where it really starts cracking off.
Hey, I got a confession. Been losing all momentum. Just because it's easy, that don't make it better. I wanna dig my hands deep down in the dirt, take a walk along the street if I'm feeling dessert. All of this convenience just doesn't work for me. I wanna play with fire, let me get hurt. Can we take it back to 95? Before we had this drama in our lives, just staring at the screen every day and night.
I also learned a lesson. Sydney here, who is crazy strong, fights like a wild child to get this fish up. And what I learned is that the size of the fight doesn't always match the size of the bite. It's going to be pretty close unless someone does something pretty big and lands a huge catch.
All right, so we are out in the Gulf of Mexico on our 44 ST Contender. It was dark when we left this morning at about 5 a.m. and we got to use the Psionics night vision camera for the first time, and it is incredible technology. It was clear as day on the screen, so great for safety, absolutely amazing. We are fishing and trolling right now, so you can see we've got the outriggers, the Marsh Tacky Carbon outriggers out there, and we just caught a tuna, so hoping for another pelagic species soon. You can see we've got 9 people on the boat today. We've got 7 forward-facing seats, and then we brought 2 bean bags as well, so everybody had some comfort since we were leaving so early. Already got one down on the coffee box, chilling and lounging, and everybody else ready for the next pelagic species to come on in.
And then, sure enough, something absolutely astounding happens.
It's all the way up. Ah! No, babe. If I could, I would.
Oof. Yep.
Babe, you got it. Honey.
Scamp's gotta be 16. Yeah. He looks like he's 16 or more, or about 16.
Yeah, he's good enough. Yeah, come on with it. He's a good dog.
Looks like a gag or a scamp. Nice guy. Yeah, big rusty. Nice.
Let's go! Let's go! That's first place down here.
Wow. Woo!
We're not gonna
Woo!
go.
That is so awesome! Oh my gosh.
Bro, what? That's amazing.
Act like it. Come on.
This is my fish.
What, I wish you would have waited.
25.
Wow. Wow. Thank you, beautiful. Thank you. Woo!
So good. It's so good. Yeah. Obviously, bagging this gag was a really big deal. And I'm so excited to get back at this point and get to the weigh-in because, I mean, Steven's saying that he thinks it's going to be first place. And I don't know about that, but I do know that we're about to hit a weigh-in when we pull back up to the dock. And when that happens, I can't wait to see how these guys place and if they actually do win it. It was right around this time, though, that it was noticed on radar that a storm was coming in, and some strategy had to take place over whether there was going to be more fishing, if we were going to push out further, or if we were going to try to hit another spot first, or basically just try to blast back and get out in front of the storm. And ultimately, the decision was made to go ahead and get back to the dock, get into the tournament, and get that fish weighed up and see how everything shakes out. When we arrived back at the docks, we were rode hard and hung wet. We did not entirely beat the storm. We got caught in the tail end of the sail and ended up punching our way through it, but still got rained on pretty good. And rain hitting you in the face at 50, 60 miles an hour is like a hard, cold, wet slap. You'll notice it. I couldn't get any footage of it because, well, obviously it's raining and my cinema cameras are not waterproof. But as we pulled up and I saw the number of people that were here at this tournament, and knowing the fish that we had in the bag, I was so excited. And it was at this point that I started to realize, oh, this is one of the reasons why you spend so much on an epic boat like this, and why this is so competitive, because this weigh-in I was really looking forward to. And I gotta say, just the general energy and vibe of the show here, even though it's raining and dreary, everyone's just happy and having such a good time and talking fishing and their boats and, having drinks. There's live music, there's vendors that are around. It was such a cool experience. I gotta say, fish life is awesome life. It's really cool. Okay, full disclosure here, as a newbie to all of this stuff, I really didn't want them to have to pull this fish out in front of everybody. I was so hoping people wouldn't notice, because I am the kind of guy who is all about surprises. And I wanted people to be surprised when they busted this thing out in front of the crowd to put up on the scale. But luckily, this cool cowboy dude here kept it low key. Not many people noticed at all compared to the size of the crowd. So I was jacked. Like, my heart was pumping so hard. I was so excited to see this thing get weighed up, and we were just moments away now.
We got 14.4. Hey, let's make some noise with a gag grouper. Puts them in first place. Nice fish.
Yes, ma'am.
Weighing in next, let's give it up for boat number 17, Boiling Point. And also, let's give a round of applause. They're actually one of our sponsors too. Thank you, Boiling Point. Gag grouper, scam grouper, blackfin tuna, whistle down. Come on in, weigh in, boys. Here we go. Whoa, 27.6 run for the gag grouper category. That puts them in first place. Give it up for the ladies.
After everyone was done weighing in and getting their names up on the board, the judges then take their time validating things. They're writing checks. They're getting all their ducks in a row so they can present the winners to the crowd. And during this time, you have some really good downtime to just have some drinks, to relax after 10 straight hours of fishing. And I just really enjoyed the chill atmosphere. It was really cool and really exciting to know that Boiling Point had won it.
In that category is who is the bottom master. This is nice. This is a $5,000 prize that you're going to win here. So this is Boiling Point. Where are you guys at again?
Is that our girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Woo!
Let's go. 5, okay? Grab.
Get up there, Stevie. 3,
They'll take good pictures. Even Matt.
I mean, they did it. They went out there amongst all these competitors and they crushed it. I was so proud of them. It was so cool that I happened to be on the boat my first time fishing like this and got this kind of experience. It was really meaningful for me, and I hope that this was something that you guys enjoyed watching.
Place, gag grouper, Boiling Point.
I can tell you that the Boyles and the people who work over at Boiling Point are some of the most genuine, good-natured people. They're competitive. They are really passionate about what they do. My Lord, are they passionate about what they do. But they're just genuinely good people, and getting to be included in this was super special. The neat thing is this channel is going to have no shortage of this kind of content, and we're going to keep it rolling out to you guys. More trips, more stuff, more boats, more content. It's going to be super exciting. And so any comments that you guys can give us, shares, likes, all that kind of stuff is really appreciated. It'll really help keep this content flowing to you. Also, if you guys would consider subscribing, that really helps a brand new small channel like ours get up and rolling. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch this 212 production, and we will see you guys out on the water in the next video.
I keep it on the up, I keep it on the up.